welcome to the News You Use with our special guest, Mr. Chris. So for our first topic of the day is the Lost Titan. If you don't know what the Titan is, it's basically like a submarine. It's a submarine that can fit 5 people. And have you heard of the Titan?
Yes, I have.
So basically, 5 people went down to see the Titanic wreckage, but ended up getting stuck down there. And they had to pay a lot of money, like $250,000 just to go. And then the next thing that happened is they got stuck down there. They lost connection with the ship above an hour and 45 minutes after they went down. It's supposed to take 2.5 hours to get down and 2.5 hours to get back up. But for all we know right now is it imploded underwater, and what we know is there were no survivors. Would you pay that much money to go down?
I won't even swim in ocean water. I'm not even a good enough swimmer where I would swim in ocean water. So no, I would not have done it.
It's smaller than a small car. And I have an SUV and there's cars. It's smaller than that. It's literally this small little contraption. You have to sit with your legs crisscross. A small toilet with one little window. Then they put a wall up and they turn up the music so no one hears you in the bathroom. And then it has like and then it has a controller that looks like an old-time Nintendo controller, but more upgraded. I feel like the Nintendo controller was more upgraded than that. Has a monitor, has a button, with one button, which is, I can't swim, so I would be very scared because the ocean is a scary place. But on to our next topic is some shoes. A black woman, Black Girl Magic, of course. A black woman paired up with Nike and Jordan, which are the same company, to make these shoes that have a mirror on the side where the Nike logo usually was. It's in the Zoom Air collection. And I have them. They come with 2 different shoelace colors. They come with a blue shoelace color and black. Do you match with your daughter? Because I know my mom bought the same ones. And now we match. I don't like to match with her, but I like to make her feel good, so I match. Do you match with your daughter?
Yes, I do. Well, since I get dressed first, she matched with me.
For our last topic is another teen takeover once again. Teens were reported coming from a lake to a gas station on 31st Street, Michigan Avenue. And I know I've talked about a couple of teen takeovers this past season, but now it's getting to the point where 100 of teens and young adults had came to this from the lake all the way to a gas station just to ransack the gas station. How would you feel if you were the witness?
I've seen things get looted before. I remember when Chicago started looting in 2020 after the guy got choked out on camera in Minnesota. I've seen it. It's not a good thing to look at, but I always like to think of it as that people express pain and express themselves different ways. Looting didn't start last year, last month, or even in the past decades. It predates most of us. And people typically loot when they're trying to express themselves. Some of them are happy, like how people were looting after the Denver Nuggets recently won the NBA championship. And some people loot when they're sad or hurt or scared, like maybe after the verdict in a trial, or if an African American is killed on camera by police and there's the perceived absence of justice. I think we just have to learn how to control our emotions, express our way in a manner that's not destructive.
That is very nice. Well, that's all for today on the News You Can Use. Goodbye.
It's still honest, it's still thoughtful, and it's still definitely Chicago.
3, 2, 1.
Join me, Darius Hillman, for a brand new spring season of In the Arena, where we're bringing you compelling conversations with some of the most fascinating people our city has to offer, right here on CAN TV 19, on cantv.org, and the new CAN TV Plus app.
Hey, my rhinos. Here is our special guest, Mr. Christopher Watts. For our topic of the day is food insecurity. So, Mr. Chris, what do you do for work?
What do I do for work? I have a lot of fun at work. I wouldn't even call it work. I call it fun, because what I do is get paid to do is what I would do for free, and I deliver on promises made to the community. So working in the community and being a representative in the store for the community, I'm tasked with delivering on the things that they say that they want. And I make promises and I have to deliver on those promises. So how does that look? It might be organizing a fresh foods market, planning a community event that kids could have fun in a safe place, or it could be planning a training program.
What is a nonprofit?
A nonprofit organization is an organization formed for the purposes of doing societal good. So nonprofits typically do things in the community of need, and it could be a plethora of things. So most schools are nonprofits, elementary, high school, and even college. Their purpose is education. Society benefits from educated, smart people who can invent things or who can help people get well if they're working in the healthcare field. Nonprofits also do community cleanups, work on public safety initiatives, as well as neighborhood fun.
When did you start your nonprofit?
On paper, 2017, but most nonprofits typically start with a group of people who just doing the work. So it started with me just doing it. And from doing good, other people was like, hey, let me join you. Then it just grew. And then people started giving money and donating items for us. So we organized in 2017 on paper.
Why do you like to help people?
Why do I like to help people? It makes me smile. So today, right before I came here, we were doing a fresh foods market right across the street from the Walmart in Bronzeville that abruptly closed 2 months ago. And, you know, not having a nearby grocery store, it's not just about the cost, right? Some people don't have a car, so they can't drive and get groceries and drive back. It's hard carrying items on the bus, or it could get expensive if you have to pay an Uber or a cab. So I often hear people who are thankful that we brought it directly to their community and close to their house, where most of the people that come walks there, then walk right home. And the average shopper leaves with about $150 worth of groceries if they went to maybe Mariano's or Jewel's or even a store like Aldi's. So seeing that, hearing the words from people, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel, and I hear it very regularly. I've been hearing it for a while, but it never gets old, and I just love to hear it. It reminds me of why I do what I do.
Did you have people to help you in your life growing up?
Definitely, I wouldn't have made it this far in life. I had a very loving and caring grandmother who went up and beyond for me during a time where she didn't even have that much, and that shaped my perspective on things, my appreciation for people, because I firsthand understand how the love and the effort of a person could uplift someone.
Who is your role model?
I will have to say my role model would be the person that's influenced me the most Barack Obama. I never thought I'd see a black president in my lifetime. I saw one early when I was in college, and it was just so inspiring to be able to see an African American male become president. Who's your role model?
My role model is probably my mommy because I live up to her. She does all these cool things. She also works at a nonprofit for a nonprofit. She's the CEO and president of UCAN, which is a nonprofit and residential home, which is very cool because I love her job. I get to go to work with her sometimes. I meet all of her coworkers. I'm there as her little assistant. So I have a few facts, data, or maybe statistics you would like to call. Households in Chicago, especially those with children, continue to experience higher rates of food insecurities. And so basically what they're trying to say is even during the pre-pandemic times, food insecurities rates are even higher among households of color. Like 22% of children in Cook County face food insecurities. Black families with children, 32% of food insecurities. Latino families with children, 28% of food insecurities. White families with children, 16% of food insecurities. Why do you think the families of color have more food insecurities than the white families?
Infrastructure. It was designed that way. When I think of food insecurity, like I say, and I'm considering that I do a lot of traveling as well, we don't have any starving people here in the U.S. We have hungry and we have malnutritious people. And when I think of our communities of color, we typically could get something to eat, but are we getting things that's not at the same time killing us? So when I think of all the canned goods and processed items that's full of sodium, it's killing us. When I look at COVID and how it disproportionately affected African Americans, a virus can't be racist. Our internal health wasn't as strong as it needed to be because of the type of foods that we ate, and that is directly related to what's available to us. Like, no one wants to drive 10 or 20 miles just to get something that's not heavily processed or full of sodium and preservatives. Do you go to the corner store in your community?
Sometimes with my grandma.
What do you see there? What type of items do you see there? Do you
A lot of sugary foods and a lot of chips.
Do you see apples, oranges, bananas,
Not
broccoli?
Really. No, that's the type of stuff you would find at a grocery store.
In other communities, non-minority communities, they have both in there. So I personally think it could be a balance of both. You know, I eat chips, but I also eat fruit. Like this morning, I started my day with a banana. After I leave here, I'll go to a barbecue. I will eat barbecue. They'll probably have some chips there as well. This evening, I'm pretty sure I'll have some type of vegetables. I typically start my day with a smoothie full of vegetables and fruit to just get everything out the way early, but I was pushed for time. We can have balance in our grocery stores. It could be both. So I don't like to preach and say, hey, only eat this. I like to say there's a balance there. You could have chips, you could have candy, but you should also be eating things with the vitamins and the minerals in them as well.
That is literally nearly 200,000 children that have not the right resources for food.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Chris, can you tell my rhinos what the meaning of food insecurity and food deserts are?
Food insecurity is when you lack the resources to obtain the type of meals that you need to have a strong and healthy body. And that could be for any reason, because of the distance, because of the cost. So grass-fed beef is better than non-grass-fed beef. You could probably get non-grass-fed beef for $3 or $4 a pound. Grass-fed beef might be $7, $8, $10 a pound. If you're working on a fixed budget, you have to make your money stretch, so you might buy the food that's harder to swallow and sits in your stomach a lot longer. Food deserts are areas where you lack access to certain things. So like you were saying, you see the stores, you see a lot of sugary things, but I promise if you was standing in the middle of downtown Chicago, Lincoln Park, the West Loop, you would see both. You could grab some chips, you could grab an apple, you could grab some broccoli, you could grab some water, juice, and pop all in the same place.
I live in a food desert because without my mom's car, we can't get to the stores we need to go to get our groceries, where I might grab a few candies and I can still get like all the healthy things that I need to get.
How does that make you feel? Like, what if your mother wasn't around and you needed to get it? Like, what would you do?
Well, what I do,
Yes.
I would probably move in with my grandma or my dad and then end up asking them to buy me a bus pass to go on the bus. How does your organization help reduce food insecurity?
We obtain fresh foods from different providers and we give it away for free. Like I said, before I came here, we did a fresh foods market. We had over 40 items. We had probably 15 different types of fruits and vegetables. Then we had cheeses and butters. And even inside the dairy products, we have cow milk items, we have sheep milk items, and we have goat milk items. Have you ever had sheep or goat milk butter?
No.
Why are you making that face? It digests a little better. Outside those dairy products, we gave away beverages, and it's 0 sugar. So we'll give away 0 sugar Gatorade. We have bottled water as well. We give away plant-based chips as well as regular chips. So we have the hot munchkin chips, then we also have plant-based chips. So it's about balance.
What do you think tweens should do if they do not have enough food at home?
If they don't have enough food at home, there's a lot of organizations citywide that shares food with people who just want more food or need more food. We do it regularly at our office, but everyone is not going to travel to our office. So they could call 311, that's the city of Chicago's non-emergency line. And if they tell the operator they was looking for food pantries, the operator would probably provide them with some information and point them in the right direction.
When I don't have my grandma doesn't have a lot of snacks at her house, so I normally just use what she has in her fridge or in her pantry, and I make cooler food items with that.
What type of items?
So one time she had marshmallows and Rice Krispie treat cereal. I was like, I don't want to eat those separately, so then I made Rice Krispie treats.
Okay, one of my favorites. That used to be a treat that we only got at the report cards when I was your age. Really loved Rice Krispie treats when my mother made them. She still makes them for me once or twice a year now.
My mom makes her Rice Krispie treats so stretchy. They're so good.
So stretchy? What do you mean by stretchy?
They literally, the marshmallows, they don't rip apart.
Okay.
Is there a way for kids to volunteer at the kindness campaign?
Of course, we have many kids that volunteer with us, especially during this summer without a school time, about 30 right now. They could go on the website and submit a volunteer form, or they could call or email the organization. The website is kindnesseveryday.org, and they could get all the information there.
Do you need more food to give away?
We're always taking food. We're picking up chicken wings and ice cream next week. Just yesterday, we picked up oat milk. We picked up diced pears. We picked up applesauce. We're always open to more items, as long as it's not too heavily processed and it's in date. We stay away from out-of-date foods.
What other services do you offer at the Kindness campaign?
So we have initiatives focused to achieve health equity, workforce equity, public equity, education equity. So with our education equity initiative, we have school-based programming inside of schools for 6th through 8th graders. With our workforce equity initiative, we help people obtain employment. Just had 2 young men obtain employment at Southwest Airlines as ramp agents. With our health equity initiative, in addition to our fresh foods markets, we do Lincoln Clinic and Community. We bring the mobile health unit out to provide services to uninsured and underinsured children. An underinsured child is anyone who's on Medicare or Medicaid. There's a lot of places that will not accept government insurance, or they put a lot of obstacles in place. So we have the medical units out to render those services. With our public equity initiative, we do community events like later this evening. We'll be participating with Rolling Peace in Inglewood, which is biking through the community and a resource fair.
Why did you name the organization the Kindness Campaign?
I didn't name the organization the Kindness Campaign. Someone else did. I just did the paperwork. So, I often get are you in charge of the Kindness Campaign? So it was a group effort. It was a group of us, people from the community who just got tired of being tired. Our philosophy is that before we complain about or say what someone else should be doing, do it ourselves. If we think a block needs to be clean, we doing it ourselves. If we feel like the kids need something else to do in the community after school, we gonna go figure it out. So it was a group of us, and I just happened to be the one that did the paperwork and paid the application fee. So it was a collective thing. It started with an event we was doing called Acts of Kindness, which wasn't even a name I made up. One of the other parents made that name up. And then people started calling us the Kindness Group. So campaign just sounded better than group. So that's how it came about.
I see you're wearing a shirt that says the Kindness Campaign because we care.
Yes.
That's very cool.
Thank
Well, that's all for today. Bye. Hey, Reynolds. Welcome to Fun Zone. Today on Fun Zone, we'll be talking about summer camps. There's different types of summer camps. Like they have sleepaway camp, sports camp, and even academic camp. I most of the time go to academic camp, but let's talk about the others. At sports camp, you learn different sports, like basketball, football, soccer, volleyball, baseball. I could go on forever about all the sports you learn. If you would ask me if I'm a sports girl, I would be like, kind of in the middle. I like football, but I only watch it. But I like basketball because I like to do sometimes. And now let's talk about sleepaway camp. I've only been to a sleepaway camp once, but that was for a school field trip. It was to Camp Benson. It was a lot of fun. The things you might do at a sleepaway camp are kind of like, for say, arts and crafts, hikes, go swimming sometimes in the lake if they have one, go canoeing, have bonfires, eat s'mores, stuff like that. And what you do at academic camps is you learn skills, they put you to the test, and then you take those into the real world one day. But you also go on field trips. You can also do fun, like one time I went to an academic camp and I got to learn about science at the Science Museum of Science and Industry. It was a lot of fun. We learned about how tornadoes were made. We learned how tsunamis happen. It was very fun. But lastly, when you're going to any type of camp, don't be scared. You're gonna meet new people either way. Like if you're going to a sports camp, but you're not that good at sports, it doesn't matter. You're gonna meet people. Have fun. That's all that matters. Going to an academic camp to learn, it's like summer school, but it's funner. It's like that. It's that fun. So be happy. Meet new friends. Have the greatest time of your life this summer. And when you go to if you go to sleepaway camp, tell me how it is in the comments. Enjoy. Peace. Hey my rhinos, welcome to Ryan's Rumble. Today on Ryan's Rumble, we'll be doing road trips versus plane trips. The reason why I like road trips so much are because they're much cheaper. All you need is a car, gas money, a few potty trips, phone charges, iPad charges, laptop charges, snacks, waters, and you're good to go. Another reason why I like road trips is because you can stop whenever you want. You don't have to wait for the flight, someone to tell you put your seatbelt on, you just put it on right away. You can watch whatever you want, you can be loud, you can listen to whatever type of music you want, and it's much fast, but it's kind of slow sometimes, but it depends on where you're going and how far you're going. But it also costs, it's much cheaper to go on a road trip than a plane trip. But the reason that I like plane trips so much, it's much faster. You can go to more exotic places. Like if you're going to Mexico, you have to cross an ocean. You can cross oceans with a plane. You can't do that with a van, an RV, or a car. Another reason why is but there is some not so good benefits. If you're traveling with a big family on a plane, it's very expensive. A small family, not too expensive. Like, I have 4 people in my family, plus 5 if you add some extended family members. So, but the one I like the most is airplane trips. Peace. Hey my rhinos, welcome back to Book Nook. For this week's book is Dogman. The author of the book is Dave Planky. This is the first Dogman. So this book is about a dog and his owner who are officers. The owner of the dog is a police officer, and the dog is just a regular officer's dog. But then one day, the owner and the dog get into a serious accident where the dog's head is okay, but the owner's head is not. And the owner's body is okay. So instead of just letting them be, they take the dog's head and put it on the man's body. It's really weird. I know some people are like, what in the world? But hey, who cares? And he wrote the book. He wants to tell. So they go to the hospital. They get their body and their head surgically attached to each other. I know some faces are going. And then the next day he goes back to work as the dog. The chief of police is like, are you okay? And then he becomes one of the most famous officers in the world, which I would be like, what? I know he is cool. I think you guys should check it out sometime because it's a really fun book. You can find this at your local library. Always remember, return it on time because it'll cost a fee. Or you can get this from your local book fair at school when you start back school, or if you have a book fair at summer camp if you're going. I know I'll be going to summer camp though. I don't want to. I'd rather make money. But that's all for today on Book Nook. Bye.